I am Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen. But don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there, and before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. Oh, look, I stepped all over it, Anna. Yeah, Anna, you would have thought, I've heard that song so many times in my life. And as you know, I never vet these songs before I pull them up.
No.
I thought that was another ba-ba-bop round. You see, I'm listening to the song while I'm talking.
Right.
And I went, oh, I can introduce Anna. I think I have another 4 or 5 seconds here.
They already know who I am. It's okay.
Turns out I did not have time.
They're like,
yeah,
she's here.
Yeah, Robert Plant walked all over my intro, not the other way around. Yeah, that bastard. Anyway, Anna, I'm gonna do a shout out right here on the top.
Okay, great. This is exciting.
I had an hour-long conversation with Joshua.
Like a consult? Like he booked a consult with you?
He was a consult. And, he had a few questions that, that we cleared up.
Okay, you sound like me now. I'm going to talk because you can't. And I'm the one who's sick and you're the one who's hacking up along over here.
All of a sudden, just something happened. Anyway, Joshua was telling me, because man, he's one of those phone calls. He has a few questions about, zone 2 training and training for a marathon and the whole thing. But a lot of the consult was, he heard me on Adam and Dr. Drew back in 2015.
Right.
He immediately downloaded, which at that time was the free PDF.
Yeah.
He was one of the 300,000 people that got it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically just wanted to thank me. He downloaded.
That's so nice.
He told his wife, "We're doing this." He had been a lifelong athlete, played.
And she was down with that? Was she cool with it?
College sports. Yeah, the wife looked at it. And the reason I'm telling you this is because he said, please tell Anna, we have both of her cookbooks. We do all of the stuff. We have all of the Anna stuff.
That's so nice.
The powders, the paste, the this, the that, everything Anna sells.
The paste.
Please tell Anna that we have it all. So there you go, Anna. Just
wonderful. Thank you, Joshua, for your support.
So Joshua, I will be talking to Anna in 5 minutes. And before I forget your name, I want to thank you.
By the way, just so the audience knows, thank you guys, because Vinnie and I wouldn't have a podcast and we wouldn't have all these things going on if you guys didn't use the things and love them and tell your friends. And you don't have to use everything, and not everybody uses everything, and that's totally fine. But I just want to thank everybody who's using them and getting benefit and telling their friends. We don't do advertising. This is it. So thank you.
Yeah, it's all word of mouth, and we don't tell people they have to take our products when they do this. But I got to be honest, it helps us keep this show free. That you guys go out and buy. He gets all of my vitamins and the whole thing, the ultra fat.
Yeah.
And look, all that matters. If I couldn't make a living doing that, I could not do this free podcast.
Right. Exactly.
I have to make a living somewhere. And thank you guys. I will.
And let me say this:
products, and Anna will. And
boom. I'm going to talk later about the food show I just got back from last night, and part of it, you and I both developed our products with the idea of seeing a lack in the marketplace of stuff that was clean, stuff that didn't have sugar added, stuff that didn't have like weird preservatives or dangerous seed oils, or you know what I mean. So we were looking at developing products that fit that. So, but obviously it had to be something that we would want to take, because we're here on this podcast talking about how to read a food label. That would certainly be completely insidious if we invented products that were not adherent to our standards. So getting back from the food show, I will talk about that later. Saw some interesting stuff, Vinnie.
Well, before that, I want you to repeat after me.
Okay.
But I want you to do it in a sexy way. Okay.
Okay. This is good because I'm sick. So it's sexy,
I want you to, wait. I just want you to be in the mic a little bit. I want you to get in the mic.
How's that?
All right. I want you to say very, very, in a very sultry way. I want you to say this quote. Who loves you, baby?
Who loves you, baby? Who loves you, baby?
Give me a third one.
Loves you, baby.
That one. Give me that one.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Who loves you, baby?
Okay. I just wanted to see how close to Suzanne Pleshette you could get, because I noticed you're a little nasally today.
I thought that was a Telly Savalas quote.
It was, but they did one of those movies where she comes in and she drops the evidence. I can't remember what it was. It was like a made-for-TV movie. And she drops the evidence on his desk. And it's like one of those things where they had the blinds with the light coming through.
Right. Yeah. Like a film noir look.
Yeah. And she drops it on the table and she goes, who loves you, baby?
Who loves you, baby?
Only Suzanne Pleshette could sound like that.
Well, I'm on my way,
Yeah.
age wise and cold wise. Well, we enjoyed it. Well, that's all I know. That's how my stepmother always hangs up the phone. She goes, well, that's all I know. And it's my favorite thing in the world.
You ever have that thing where you're telling someone you got to go and they bring up another conversation?
I feel like Coddington would do that.
No,
He doesn't?
no.
Come on.
Coddington and I have a thing where we like, we'll talk and like he's got work to do.
Yeah.
Or like something comes in,
Yeah.
and he'll just go, gotta go. And he doesn't even say why, he just goes, gotta go. And the phone just goes blank.
Oh, my friend just hangs up on me because she has a
Don Connington's Friday, 5:00. Have a good weekend.
the first few times that my friend just hung up on me, I was like, what's going on? And then she's like, oh, she has a home goods store in Santa Barbara. She's like, oh, a customer walked in. I was like, well, tell me that's what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. It's okay to hang up on me. I don't give a shit, but let me know that's why. So I'm like, did we get disconnected? I'm going to keep trying you. What are we doing today, Vinny? What are we talking about?
Wait, hang on. I want to see.
I'm drinking coffee and I'm going to have a little ultra fat.
Suzanne Pleshette, Rock Hudson.
Oh, did you find it?
No, I can't. Let me just see. She's on Carson here. I don't think the audience really remembers. She had the sexy, sultry voice. She's
It
being.
meant a great deal to us because the first time you get married, I mean, you're hopeful, you think that this is the right person, and I hope that you love each other, but you really don't know what the future holds. 10 years later, if you're willing to stand up there and say, I have been with this person 10 years, I really love them. It's been 10 years of thick and thin, or thick and thin, or thin and thin, and I still want to spend the rest of my life with them. I think it's infinitely more meaningful. And it's my surprise to him, because he did know about that. I got the couple who stood up for us originally to fly in. So when he walked into the courthouse, my mother and dad and this couple, the 4 people that had been there originally, and I tell you, the 2 of us, well, the 6 of us cried through that ceremony. And the judge was wonderful, because he just talks to you. I mean, the first time we got married.
She's just going on and on the Johnny Carson show, but just so the audience can know what voice I was trying to get from you.
Yes.
Miss Suzanne Pleshette.
She still had that thing where she enunciated her R's person, like a little mid-Atlantic pronunciation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That mid-Atlantic accent, but not all the way like 40s movie star, but she had it like
No, she
60s,
had
70s.
some of it. Yeah, there was still
A little bit of mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
When the person is waiting at the courthouse for me, that like,
Yeah.
the soft, R's.
That was the deal, right? That's what everyone had to do back then.
They were trained to elocute in that way.
Yeah, they all sounded the same. But Suzanne Pleshette, did she ever do VOs? She had to do VOs, right?
She must have.
Yeah.
May she rest in peace. Rest in power, Suzanne.
Back then, I think a lot of stars would do VOs, but they wouldn't talk about it. It was like one of those careers that was like, you just didn't talk about.
Right. Because it's a money grab, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, look.
Like commercials and VO, and you do like Japanese commercials, or you do whatever. The stars would go over and do overseas commercials so they didn't sully their brands here in the States.
I'll tell you something that most people don't know about Hollywood. I always give a little Hollywood tidbit because, as you know, I was on the inside. Explain if you could, Anna, what Holmby Hills is to Beverly Hills.
Okay, so if Beverly Hills, oh gosh, if Beverly Hills is like the well-known, famous rich people, 90210 address, Holmby Hills is like the exclusive, like ridiculous, like you don't know Holmby Hills until you move here. And then you're like, oh, there's an even more secret enclave of rich people.
Okay.
Than what's in Beverly Hills, right? Is that a good description?
All right, let me give it to you a different way. You have Beverly Hills. Everybody knows about Beverly Hills, the big palm trees, and within
movie stars,
and the big mansions and the whole thing. Well, there are even bigger mansions, and that's called Bel Air. It's connected. It's the same hill. It's right in that same area.
Bel Air's gated though, right?
No. It's not gated. You can drive through Bel Air, but most people don't even.
Can't see anything though.
Yeah, you can't see.
The hedges are too
behind
high.
Big giant hedges and the whole thing.
Yeah.
These houses are even more ornate and,
right.
20,000 square foot mansions, right?
It's like Beverly Hills, you have the $5 to $10 million mansions. And then Bel Air, you have like the $10 to $20 million mansions.
No,
even
more than that. No,
I know, but I'm just giving a little.
Even more than that. I mean, you're not getting a mansion for under 40 million these days. And
I would say Holmby Hills. That's what it is.
Holmby Hills is more exclusive than both of those.
Yeah.
And it's all in the same area. You get to Holmby Hills, it's a piece of Bel Air, right? It's there, it's all right there.
And usually it's families who've owned it when they have like a 5-acre parcel or something like that.
There's acreage, and
yeah,
the houses behind the mansion are,
bigger than our houses.
that's way bigger than, it's like the mansion, you have the main, you could have another mansion on the, okay.
And they call it a casita.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's like an 8,000 foot casita.
Right.
All right, let me give you, this will explain what Holmby Hills is. The Playboy Mansion, Holmby Hills.
Perfect. Okay. With acreage.
So, yeah. So that's what Holmby Hills is. The exclusive, the most exclusive. I had clients in Holmby Hills. Those are some of the people that when people say, why can't you mention your clientele? Those are the people that make you sign contracts. You don't walk into the house until you've met with attorneys to walk into these houses. Right. And I'm going to tell you the secret. And most of those people are like the biggest producers in the world.
Right. It's usually not the on-camera talent that live in Holmby Hills.
Oh, no. There's no on-camera.
It's the producers. It's the owners of the properties.
It's the people
their
franchises companies have done, 200 movies or 500 movies or whatever. Right. And you don't walk into these homes without signing contracts.
Right.
And I was privy to be in some of these homes. I'm going to tell you a little dark secret. Oh, Anna's eating an ultra fat over there.
Debbie, quick, do a screen grab.
Hey, Debbie, hold it up again. There you go, Debbie. Grab that. Do something with it. There you go. Okay. One of the big secrets of Holmby Hills, of these type of people, these big producers of films, how do they pay for these $100 million mansions? And
how do
it takes to keep it up, right? Because the upkeep of these things are hundreds of thousands of dollars per month.
What's a mortgage like on a $100 million property?
Not only the mortgage, but just,
do you mortgage it or do you just have so much cash you just pay cash for it?
Like, but
how does it work?
Anna, the upkeep, the just keeping that 5 acres in that area of the world, with the topiaries and all the shit they have, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's insane.
Most of these big producers on the side quietly funded porn movies back in the day.
Oh, hey, are we going to have some music?
Yeah. I don't have it. I don't have it. I would have
okay.
But, you were talking about things, voiceovers, and it reminded me of that. You were talking about, actors and the whole thing. They would do stuff. But these big producers made millions and millions before the internet took over porn. This is, when like Debbie does Dallas and all these,
right.
When it was
back when porn was a very large profit center, as opposed to having most of it given away for free and not only having that one company.
Well, they made gazillions. As a matter of fact, one of them explained to me, we made more money on porn than we did in the movie business.
Listen, business is business.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
They made no bones about it. They made no bones about it.
They made boners about it, but not bones.
So, Anna, we're going to do a quick Villa Capelli ad, and then I got questions about what happened at the food show.
Yeah, we'll talk about the food show. And then do you want to talk about, we were discussing failures and motivation, a couple little tidbits after that? Okay.
Yeah.
Villa Capelli is the best olive oil on the planet. You guys, it's wonderfully delicious and fragrant and has an actual Puglia pinch. It's hard to describe the Puglia pinch. Vinny, how would you describe it? You taste the olive oil and it gives you a little
almost like
peppery
too much black pepper went down way too fast.
Yeah.
And by the way, that peppery feeling, that stuff, that's the healing properties of olive oil, right? You go get your Bertolli's, you can drink that, you'll never feel it, right? You'll never feel that because there's no olive oil in it. It's mostly seed oil. But this, you're getting a full dose of one of the best supplements you can ever put in your mouth. People always say, Vinny, tell me all the supplements. I know you have a supplement company, but tell me all the other supplements you might take. I always mention olive oil. And they go, no, I asked for supplements. It's like, no, I supplement with olive oil every single day. Just something I do.
Sorry.
So check out Villa Capelli. If you want to save money.
Who doesn't?
Put in promo code Vinny, VINNIE. Promo code Vinny will save you what? 10%. And if you spend more than $125 after the promo code, you will also get free shipping. People have been showing me their 3-liter 10s and everything on Twitter.
I love it.
Hey, Van, look, I got my 3-liter 10. Yeah, go get it, folks. Go get that stuff. Don't Don't mess around.
It will
Vilcapalli
sell out.
olive oil.
It will sell out.
Yeah.
Vilcapalli olive oil. They also have some good flavored oils. They have some salts. They have all sorts of yummy stuff. So give it a try. They might still have the marinated artichoke hearts, which I want to get. Yeah, it's funny because if I eat olive oil every day, I thought about that when you just said you supplement with it. And I'm like, I don't supplement with it, but I eat it almost every day. I marinate things in it. I make a dressing. I fry the vegetables up or sometimes some chicken cutlets in it, and I take it for granted now that I have this amazing olive oil, but it took me a little while to get on board with like, really? And then I tasted it and I was like, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever tasted. So you guys will love it. Discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. Okay. So the food show. So this is a different kind of food show. It wasn't like fancy food show where it's a bunch of people that you have to be in the Specialty Food Association to go show at the fancy food show. And Natural Products Expo West, like that you guys did, it's a huge show. So this was a smaller show that is through. So there are two large distributors. There's a lot of smaller regional distributors, but there are two main distributors in the US of food products that deliver your food to the grocery store. And that is UNFI and KeHE.
Mm-hmm.
This was the KeHE distributor show. And the idea being that brands like us can get a booth there and hopefully that, their buyers, it's in Chicago. So there's a lot of Midwest people who go and they just drive there for the show. A lot of people fly in for it. So all of the KeHE reps, so the people who work for the distributors work with these buyers of these grocery stores to find new brands. They walk around the floor saying, like ShopRite in New York stopped and they're like, this is great. You're great. And you begin a conversation.
Right.
So last year at the Fancy Food Show, I met the rep for Central Market, which is a chain of 11 grocery stores in Texas. Lovely place. I really want to get in there. And I've been talking to him for over a year. And then finally the rep came back with another rep and we're talking pricing and hopefully we can make it work. Right. But it's a long conversation.
Right.
And if you can't handle a long game, the retail market's not for you because it's like, it's almost like entertainment in the sense that like it takes forever to get something greenlit. But when it does, it's like, go, be ready. You have to have all these.
It's a glacial pace until it's not.
Exactly. So it's very interesting. You learn a lot. And the idea too, with this particular show is that brands like mine can go, and maybe we haven't met a lot of people yet. I've emailed everybody, but I haven't had FaceTime. So it's good for FaceTime and stuff like that. Cause I'm talking to people and I'm very aware of where our people want to go shopping for our stuff, so I'm trying to get into these chains and these different markets and talking to people. And then you also have the other competing, there's other pasta sauces there and no shade on them. They're doing a great job too. Everybody's trying to do it, but it's a huge show at the McCormick, which is the largest trade show center in the country. So, and it takes up one entire hall. And of course you make friends with your neighbors, you go around the show, you meet different people. Cause it's all a bunch of folks like us who are trying to get our products out there. Right. And hold on.
And
sorry, I had a little sniffle.
Yeah, okay.
I thought I was going to see a little more of the keto because keto was really popular about a year ago. I saw that everywhere.
Right.
And actually what I saw the most of was grain-free and still a lot of plant-based meats. I could not believe the number of plant-based meats. Remember that you and I talked about, because you saw it at Expo and I saw it at Fancy Food, the plant-based tuna. They were not there.
Yeah.
But there were some other ones like plant-based chicken and and I was like, and they kept saying, hey, you want to try it? It's gluten-free. I was like, no, thanks. I tried some other people's stuff. It's hard to avoid the carbs. I was trying to go back to the people who are just sampling their cheeses and their meats and their nuts and to keep it with that. And I brought your nut butters as a snack, but you're working the floor. You get there at 8 a.m. to get all set up and you don't leave till 6 p.m. when the show ends, and you're not leaving your booth because it was just me and Matt. You're not leaving your booth very often. So you don't really eat. So it's an interesting thing. The other thing that I noticed there was a lot of was the baking mixes, the cookies. Like there's so many sweet treats and so many snack foods, like a crazy amount.
Well, it's what the
snack
people
foods
want, Anna. It's just what people want. I mean,
I think it's the ability to make it shelf stable, right? The ability to, and beverage. There are a lot of beverage. And I know that the thing with beverage is a can in every hand, right? So they bring so much to the shows. They can give away a can to every single person who stops by the booth. We can't give away a jar of sauce to every, nor would somebody want to roll it up and put it in their suitcase. I mean, I would, but most people wouldn't want to do that. But it is an interesting thing. So we have to sample, we heat up the sauce. And by the way, and this is the same for when I demo in grocery stores, we buy a loaf of bread and cut it up to sample with the sauce. And maybe out of every 100 people who sample the sauce, there might be 1 or 2 who say, no, thanks. I'm either gluten-free or I'm don't do the bread.
Right.
So just so you guys know, like, and this is why it's important for my company to grow, that I reach out to people who do eat pasta with pasta sauce, not just, you know what I mean? I need it to grow in order to get the prices down and get the stuff. So it is an interesting thing. Oh, shout out to Corey from KeHE, by the way, who's a listener who came by and he said, I love your stuff. I love Vinnie. You guys are the best. And he said he really appreciated all the NSNG stuff. And, it was nice to have somebody come by who knew our work, because most people don't. Let's be honest. Most people are in the mainstream thing. They're eating the standard American diet. And then there was a shout out to Frank, who was working, I think he was working the KETO stuff, which KETO, some of you guys will know that. You'll see KETO. It's a private label thing where they have like KETO frozen blueberries, KETO peanut butter, KETO. That's like they have a bunch of different things in different categories in the grocery store, but it's organic and you'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about, you guys, if you have that in your grocery store. He was very supportive, and he said, I lost 90 pounds. And he said, my doctor said I was going to have a stroke and I was going to lose a limb and my blood sugars were way too high. And so I lost 90 pounds doing keto/NSNG. And he said, I've put a little bit back on, but I'm going to get to it. And I said, you and me, we're going to get right back to it after the show's over. You and me, we're going to do it. So it was just nice to connect with people, because when you're at those shows, it's just a different philosophy, and that's okay. We have our little niche here, and I love it, and I love everybody. Yeah. But sometimes people look at you sideways like you're just crazy because you're not going to eat this thing. Yeah.
Look, I get called nuts all the time because I'm telling and they'll say, well, show me the sign, right? I get that on Twitter. Show me the sign. Can I just show you the hundreds of thousands of people who have lost millions of pounds? How about that?
Can I suggest something? Can you guys go back and listen to an episode, maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, where somebody had written us saying, show me the science, and Vinnie rattled off 15 books that are then linked at his website? Can you guys just go read those books? And then when you read those books, come back.
Yeah. But you see, people don't want, look, the other day, someone.
But why is that your job to do their research for them?
It's not my job. When people say, someone said the other day, hey, you had this doctor on your show and you guys were talking about CGMs. And you just want to, this person was saying, just wanted to let you know, tell the doctor he was wrong. You can't get a CGM for that price. They're $300 and $400. And I went and did a quick, simple search.
And you found them.
Yeah, you could find, and then everyone else dove in and said, no, you get a doctor will give you a script, go to Costco. It's, about $35 every 2 weeks, which is exactly what we said on the show. I'm getting the numbers wrong now, but pretty close to it. It wasn't 3 or 4. It's like, why come ask me when people say I've done my research and it means that you looked at the first fucking thing that was probably sponsored on Google? That's not research.
That's true.
I've done my research. And so, I know the other one. Guy was like, hey man, you're wrong about, I want to say it was quinoa. You're wrong about quinoa or something. He goes, it's actually this many grams. And I went, no, I know I'm right because I've been talking about quinoa for years. So I went and I looked, and I just looked at a couple I took 3 sources, all 3 of them showed me to be correct. And I went back and said, no, I just checked. And turns out my numbers are right. Yours are wrong. And he came back and then everyone else said, dude, you're looking at the thing that's showing, net
the wrong measurement, right?
And the wrong measurement. And you're looking at 100 grams. We were talking about 100 grams. You're looking at 1 cup, which is not 100 grams.
Right.
He was looking at all the wrong stuff. It was like, when someone of authority or someone of note tells you you're wrong, instead of yelling and saying you're wrong again, how about you go check? How about you really go, wait, why would Vinnie put his reputation on the line?
Right.
Why would Vinnie do that? I wouldn't do that. I got a reputation to uphold. I'm not going to fuck myself over. I'm going to make sure I'm right before I answer you. I'm not going to,
by the way,
just go, let me get my thumbs rolling. Let me get my thumbs in gear. No, I'm going to make sure I'm right.
You're not Jillian Michaels.
Yeah, I'm not Jillian Michaels.
By the way, which is exactly why you are a credible source, because you actually check things and think before you speak, which is a sign of maturity. And I appreciate that, Vinnie. But I think that Also, too, you and I did an episode about the carb count in quinoa and the protein totals in quinoa versus rice versus brown rice a couple episodes ago. So
Right.
definitely go back and listen to that. And you and I had to clarify, is this the one that says 100 grams? Is this the one that says a cup? And we were doing some math. We did math on the air, guys.
Yeah.
We did.
It's not that difficult to get this stuff right. I don't get why. I don't, we used to call it a few years ago, the information superhighway, right?
Mm-hmm.
The information is out there. Oh, Bonzo, it's thundering outside. Oh, Bonzo. Oh, my goodness.
The information is out there.
The information's out there. Unfortunately, people will pay to come up first with the information. Don't look. Usually now it says sponsored. If it says sponsored, go right past that.
Yeah. You're gonna be scrolling almost to the bottom of page 1 on Google because everything seems to be sponsored these days.
I should tell everybody start at page 3. Because it's going to be a bunch.
Nobody goes to page 3.
Yeah, everybody just wants the quick answer. Look, you can get good information on the internet. Look at the source. That's the other thing. Look at the source. It was like,
I mean, there's still bad information going out. Somebody wrote on Serena's porterhouse thing because it popped up in my Instagram because I'm marked as a collaborator on that one because she used my dust. You shouldn't be eating olive oil. And I was like, what? Is this 1997? Are you on the grapeseed oil council PR team? Like, what has happened? Are we still talking about this? But I guess we are because the bad information is still out there.
Anna, they know what they know. They
know
what they know.
Thank you,
that's
ma'am.
all they know. Ignorance is truly bliss. Don't be that person. Wait,
I guess it is.
Hang on, Anna. Let me get my glasses off. You ready for this? I'm looking at the camera. Hey, Debbie, get ready.
Oh boy, here we go.
Don't look good, Anna.
Yeah, you do. You're ready for your Instagram moment.
All right, you ready? This is for Instagram. Yeah. Get ready, Debbie. Clear my throat a little bit. Okay. Listen, the first thing you see at the top of Google may not be the truth. It could be something sponsored by God only knows who. Get the real information. The internet will give you the right information, but when you say, I did my research, actually do some research. Go past the first page of Google and you can get some good answers. You don't have to come to me on Twitter or here on Instagram and say I'm wrong. Before you tell me I'm wrong, go check it out. Okay. Stay motivated. Okay.
Yes.
Right. See that? Take that.
That was great. I'm into it.
Take that.
Stay motivated.
Wait.
Can I do it like Suzanne? No, don't. That was great.
That was good. Okay. Good. Yeah. There you go, Debbie.
Stay motivated.
All right.
Stay motivated, baby.
Give me another one.
Stay motivated, baby.
No. You heard Suzanne's voice. Look, you can do Ma Reed better than anyone else. So,
Oh no, Vinnie, stay motivated. Okay.
No.
No. Stay motivated.
Go back to Suzanne Pleshette.
Okay.
Get the voice deeper.
That's right, person.
Get a little deeper.
Stay motivated.
Put a little more. Get a little more in the.
Stay motivated.
Go in the back a little bit.
Stay motivated.
Okay. Now,
but she has a smile to her voice, though.
You see, you had it right there.
Because she smiles when she talks. She's a smiler. Okay. Stay motivated.
I need 3 takes. Ready? Right now. Give me three takes. Go.
A, B, and C. Here we go. Take 1. Stay motivated. Stay motivated. Stay motivated.
She still has more.
I think I said it too many times and now it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Moving on. But let me say one more thing about the food show.
All right.
I will say no sugar added has caught on. People would stop when I would say, do you want to try some pasta sauce? No sugar added. The number of people go, oh, you had me at no sugar added. And I was like, it's interesting. Why have we decided that pasta sauce has sugar in it? Because companies started putting sugar in it.
Right. And
also people were shocked that we use tomatoes. And most of the cheap pasta sauces, you know what I'm talking about, are just paste and water. That's and flavor and sugar and salt and
that's how they jimmy it up that way.
That's how they jimmy it up. So when I said no sugar added, it really caught people. And then I was looking at the signage. No sugar added or no added sugar is a popular thing, and rightly so. That's good that people are catching on to this stuff. But it is funny how it's like still everything is so carby and so blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Everything's like crazy carved up. So I just want to say that like no added sugar. I definitely put that on my products because I want to be really clear that we are one of those. But you still got to like do your research and look into stuff.
Bonzo, it's okay.
Bonzo's freaked out.
He does not like the thunder. He is not a thunder dog.
No, of course not.
Can you hear the thunder out there?
No.
It's cracking pretty hard. It's okay, Pumpkin. You're going to be okay. Bonzo, stay calm. See, stay calm.
Stay calm.
You know, so Anna, all right. I've been wanting to learn how to row, a scull, I want to, on the water.
Yeah.
And, it keeps, they do 2 sessions. It's for a whole month, 12 sessions, 2 months. They do it in June and July.
Okay.
Well, I couldn't do it this June because I had to go work on my documentary and I was going to miss too many days.
Right.
July is coming and me and you know who, I don't want to say because I would have to play it again, but me and you know who are going to be on the mountain for 10 days.
Sure.
July.
Sure.
So I finally wrote to him and said, look, I will clearly be home on the 16th. And I would like to come by the boathouse and at least meet you guys and watch you practice. They practice for 2 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And
Great.
that's why I said, hey, I have to do this. I have to be out of here because 6 o'clock, I have to be, because folks, if you're not learning something new, a new sport or doing something new, that's my thing. I want to keep doing things. I want to stay active, right? I want to learn how to row,
Of course.
outdoors besides just doing it here in my office. So they said, look, we see how motivated you are to do this, right? We know you want to come in and do this.
Because you stay motivated.
That's correct. And so tonight was the night I'm supposed to go, but it is pouring down rain and there's thunder and lightning. There's no way they're going on the water. And that's like a few minutes from now.
Oh.
There's no way, right? I mean, there's no way this rain is stopping for a couple of hours.
Did you text them to see?
No, I'm going. I'm going when I'm
gonna go. Okay.
I'm going to the boathouse because maybe they're going to have like an indoor session. Maybe I could take part a little bit. Who knows? But that's the thing. When you want to get something done, you got to figure out a way. I can go, oh, here we go again. Can't do it this summer. But you see, if I meet them, I get to know them. I know they have a winter program over there where they row indoors. Instead of me just rowing here at my house, I can go row with them, learn better technique,
right?
Get better at it. That's what I'm trying to do. You folks, when it comes to athletics, when it comes to any of this, you just have to figure out something you are willing to do. When people say, Vinny, what's the best aerobics? Is it bicycle? Is it running? Is it rowing? Is it paddling? Is it elliptical, stair machine, hiking? What's the best? What's my answer, Anna?
The one you're going to do.
It's the one you're willing.
The one you're going to do.
Yeah. It's whatever you're willing to do. And I'm willing to do. Ooh, there's hail coming down.
Oh.
It's like, what the hell is going on? I hope it's not banging up my cars out there.
Well,
that's a big hail. Wow. That's
everything. I'm just amazed you still have power.
Yeah. That could be the next thing.
Yeah. Because here, if that would be happening, it would just be done.
Yeah. But just understand, folks, when you think, guys like Vinny, they got it figured out. They know what to do and they just go run and they ride bikes and the whole thing. You got to keep doing things. You have to keep learning things. You have to keep moving forward, right? You can't just stop. When you stop, you die. That's the way I look at it.
And if you're listening to this and you're new to NSNG and it sounds like I'll never want to do any of it, please stay the course because there's going to be a critical mass, a tipping point, as it were, where you'll all of a sudden realize you have energy and you're like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk around the block.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to start doing things. And I promise you it will happen. Please stay the course. But you're right. If you're eating a standard American diet, you're not going to be motivated to move your body. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to feel inflamed. You're going to feel tired and achy. And just trust.
Yeah.
Do we have time to mention a failure thing, or do you want to save that for another episode?
Let's do it.
Okay.
You going to start?
I'll start. Well, we were talking, you texted me and said, let's talk about some times in your life where you failed. And I was like, great. So I'll talk about my entire life because I feel like my entire life has been a string of failures that I bounced back from and put together a career and put together a life and put together everything. And I know that you have your own set of failures, my own set of failures. And I think that I love talking about this because I wish more people would publicly talk about failures because I feel like I listen to interviews of people I'm really interested in hearing their stories and they gloss over the failure part. And I'm like, that's what I want to hear about. I want to hear about how you bounce back from when things got shitty or when you got your ass handed to you, Yeah. And by the way, all of us will have shitty things happen and all of us will have, terrible news despite doing our best. Like we can do our best or even be the best and still completely fail. And one time I was up for something really big and it would have paid a lot of money and been high profile. And I was really excited by it. And it was one of those things.
Life changing, Anna.
A life changing. And by the way, my career is filled with moments where this thing's going to be so big, it's going to change the trajectory of things.
Right.
And it doesn't. And
Right.
you realize that life is a moment, is stringing together all those moments. And it's actually like, no, that's what a career is.
Right.
You do all these jobs and you get paid for them. And if something blows up into the stratosphere, it's very rare. Like that's why most journeyman performers and actors and voice talent, we are where we are. That's what we do. We still book all the jobs, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're in the stratosphere. And I thought that like this was going to be one of the game changers. And by the way, I have also learned now, but I didn't know this then. When you think something's going to be a game changer, you start to think with your ego,
Mm-hmm.
and it will always blow up in your face, always without exception. Whenever you try to think with your ego instead of just enjoying the thing, doing your job and moving through, you know what I mean? Just do your job, just do your job and be great. And that's one thing people always ask, how do you do voiceover? You just have to be great. You have to do it and be great and not put your ego in it. So whenever you start to think, oh, this could be good, or you start to spend the money, oh, I'm going to make this money, and then I'm going to buy this thing, and just, you know what I mean? Oh, I can finally pay off that credit card and do the. I get it. That's human nature, but you have to go, hold on. You don't even have this job yet. Let's stop spending that money of the job that you don't have.
Right.
So anyway, this big thing happened. And then I talked to a friend of mine, and she said her old manager, who since passed away, said to her one time, nobody owes you anything. Because I was frustrated that I had read, they're wasting my time. They keep taking me back to this audition and that audition. And now it's becoming a time waster, and I'm getting upset. Right. And she was like, nobody owes you anything. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I've always had that approach unless I feel like we've crossed some line where they've taken too much of my time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm going to keep that in check from now on. And to me, I say that phrase to myself whenever it feels like I'm getting twisted up about something, or somebody else, it feels like they're taking advantage of my time or taking advantage of my goodwill or you know what I mean? I say, you know what? Nobody owes you anything. And what it does, it like separates, it like cuts the strings. If there's any karmic ties or any but you know what I mean? I don't know about karmic ties, but you know what I'm saying? If there's anything that you're hitched up about, or you got the crochet hook in about somebody else, right? Nobody owes you anything. To me, pulls me out of that and goes, well, let me just turn it back on me. Let me just start from ground zero again. Because I feel like the ability to go back to a clean slate and just start over is how you pick yourself up from a failure.
Well, yeah, you're
not surprised I didn't get the job.
Right.
And so you go, you know what? Don't let it smart. Don't let it be upsetting. Nobody owes you anything.
You're right. As I always say, you always got you. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the one thing. You always got you, and you can always start and just go back to zero. You know,
and by the way, I don't know if that's a relatable thing, but you know, as performers and actors, we put ourselves up for things on a daily basis. And so when you hear something back, it's very exciting. You want to get it, you know, and you obviously you don't get everything. You don't even get most things. You don't even get you get like 1 out of 100. You know what I mean? Like the batting, you have to take so many at bats, right?
Yeah. Well, in the modeling world, and that was the only time where I had to worry about being picked or chosen. Right.
Right.
And when your agent calls you and says, you've been put on a veil, most people, well, what does that mean? It's like, it's you and one other person. And now they're checking your availability. Right. So now you're down to a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
And it's easy at that point to go, ooh, I can finally take a little vacation here.
You're like, what does it pay?
Yeah. What does it pay? Oh, really?
When does it shoot? Oh, I'm free that day. Oh, I'm free. It must be meant to be. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you.
And half the time you get it, the other half the time you don't. Because when you're being put on the veil, it's you and one other person.
Right.
Right. So you're now down to, you were one of like 100 people they saw. So you had a 1 in 100 shot. Now it's you and another guy.
Right.
And you're down to 50-50. You just got to hope they want to go with you.
Or they change their mind and they go, you know what? Let's do a casting for women. I think this would look better with a woman in this part. You know what I mean?
It could be anything. It could be
anything. But you have no control over it.
I was just interviewing yesterday for the Friday show. It was a different kind of Friday show. The show's coming out next week. So this show is coming out after that. So folks, you could go back and listen to this show. I had on Friday, this woman, Teresa Strasser. Do you know Teresa, Anna?
I don't know her, but I know of her because you've talked about her a lot.
Yeah, she wonderful girl. She was Adam Carolla's co-host for a lot of years, kicked around LA on the news. She's been in legacy media and the whole thing. And she wrote this wonderful book and she came on to promote. And it was a different kind of show. It wasn't my normal kind of Friday show, but I thought, this is a girl that started, you want to talk dirt poor and broken home and you name it, fill in the blank. This girl had all of that. And you look at it and go, wow, she landed on her feet. She does quite well for herself. She married a wonderful guy, this guy, Daniel. He does well. They have 2 wonderful kids. They moved out of LA and got to Arizona. So she's able to do media stuff from Arizona. And she's a great writer. So she writes books. And you look at that and you go, most people look at Teresa and go, oh yeah, of course. She had friends in the business. She moved to LA. She was living in that area where you got bars on your window, downtown, down in that area. She got to town, she knew no one. She was living in a 1-room apartment, not a 1-bedroom apartment. She was living in a studio where you're sleeping next to the toilet. You have a kitchenette. It's all 1 room. This woman started with nothing and somehow figured it out. And that mattered more to me. I had more interest in that than the book. The book deals with children's sports and grief and the whole thing. Is a great book. It's called Making It Home, and it's on the Vinnie book list if you guys want to go get it. Teresa Strasser. You look at it and you go, wow, we talked about failure and failure quotient, and a number of times you fail before you get anything, right? And that's pretty much what it's all about in life. Just fail.
By the way, I told a vulnerable story of when I failed and you did not. You said you were going to. So please tell a story of a failure, Vinnie.
Oh God, when did I not fail?
But you got to keep failing because that's how you get to the success. If you fail once and then you get sad and then you never try anything again, you're not going to do anything.
I basically, besides, all right, when I got to LA, it was pretty easy because I got this modeling agent and I knew I was already 29 years old and that money, I had money to sustain me once I got there. So that was not a failure. I couldn't believe that they were hiring a 30-year-old guy and a 31-year-old guy and a 32-year-old guy to go do some of this stuff. And I've been putting the pictures on my Instagram from those days. So I look back at it and go, oh, now I see it.
Right. Oh no, when you're 29, you feel like you're ancient and you're about to be an old man. It's so funny.
And I had a full head of hair and my body was kicking and I was able to get all of these shirts off ads. So I was making enough money to do it, not to get by. I was able to do it while I was trying to build up my business as a trainer. Another success, right? I worked with a woman, Dana Henniger, and barely charged her anything and took 100 pounds off of her. She became a billboard for me. So training business was doing well. Everything else, I was making enough money to stay in LA. I was making enough money so I could stop modeling and just train people full time because that's what I do. Right.
Can I just interject here that that's a huge lesson that you just said. If you're just starting out in your career and you're freelance, like you were freelancing to be a trainer to build your business, you had a fire sale on yourself to prove that you could do it by training her for next to nothing so that she could be the billboard for you. That's a very good piece of advice right there. If you're young and starting out, talk about nobody owes you anything. When you're young and starting out, you have a lot to prove and you did that. You proved yourself and then it becomes, I was
still doing modeling jobs while I was training Dana. And then someone else at Playboy, she was an exec at Playboy. That just happened to be another, this guy, Victor's son. He saw what was happening to Dana and he wanted some of that. He was already lean and mean. He just wanted to stay lean and mean. Right. And I was able to charge Victor regular price. And then that went to another person and that started moving out. So my business took off right away. When that happened, but everything else I failed at. Everything else, because I didn't move out there to be a trainer anymore. I was just doing that while I was trying to get programs done. And I didn't particularly have to be in the program. I would be in the program if it made sense, but I was trying to get stuff produced, right? Children's programming.
You're talking about television projects.
Television, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I had these ideas for the interstitials, right? And I was talking to Nickelodeon about interstitials and getting meetings
Between like the cartoons, it would cut to like a little Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah,
That's an interstitial.
That was
That's
an
not what you were
interstitial,
pitching.
and
but
that was
yeah.
all gone by then. And I was like, hey, we can bring back the Schoolhouse Rock. I had a name for it. I had everything for it. I wanted to go back into that.
Right.
Right. No one was having it because of what I wanted to say. Right. Fail. I started making products because the infomercial world was a big thing. I would spend, because I was a trainer making good money, I made a product once to make it in like prototype form and get a patent on it and everything else, right? I had to get a design patent and everything. It cost me like 20, and we're talking 1993, 94 prices. That thing cost me $24,000. That's how much I believed in myself. I was spending every dime I had trying to make this stuff work.
Right.
And I got it to the biggest names in the infomercial, Guthrie Ranker, because I was doing some of their stuff.
Right.
So
and they were a huge infomercial producer at the time. I don't know if they still are.
I don't know
just,
what they're
just
doing.
for reference for you young people who don't know what that is.
They were like the biggest name in the business.
Yeah.
I had the biggest people fighting for me to get this stuff. But when they would hand me, you want to talk about that 11th hour when they were like, the agent that brought it in was like, are you shopping today? No, why? You should be in Bel Air shopping for your house. This is going to make you millions of dollars.
By the way, I hate it when they say that because that's always the kiss of death. Don't say that shit.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
They do it all the time. I was in the 11th hour. I had this contract. They were going to do this. This was going to hit a home run. It was going to, because I own the name. I was attached to the product. And I didn't have a Scott Tepper back then, but I would go hire a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer.
Right.
I would give these guys $300-400 to read the contract.
Sure. Smart thing to do.
And I would use this guy all the time. And he would say, in good consciousness, I cannot allow you to sign this contract.
Uh-oh.
And I said, why? And he said, they would own you. I said, the product? No, they would own you, your name.
Oh.
They would own the name. According to this contract, they would own the name Vinnie Tortorich. And I was like,
what?
So what? So what? It's like, you won't, into perpetuity, you would not be able to use your name to sell anything else.
Oh my God. That's a horrible contract.
And I was like, what? And he was like, and I was so pissed off because that was like my third time at the plate. And this guy made me not sign 2 other contracts. And I said,
I'm not sending you my contracts anymore.
I said, you know what? I didn't tell him this. I just went, fuck it. I'm signing this contract and I'm going to do it because I'm never going to get anywhere unless I do this. And I was going to sign the contract. The next day, I was at Michael Zola's dentist office. I still use Michael Zola. I still have my same dentist. When I fly back to LA, I see Michael Zola. I've known this guy for 35 years now. I'm sitting in his waiting room. This is back when they still had magazines in waiting rooms.
Sure.
I see People magazine on the cover, Susan Powder. She was explaining why she was broke. Now, who was Susan Powder? She was the biggest name in infomercials back then. Stop the insanity. You got to breathe. You got to eat. You got to exercise. She was yelling. She was this woman with this spiked hairdo.
She was like if Annie Lennox was a motivational speaker, that's what she looked like.
She was you could not turn on a television without her being on that television. She was the biggest name. And to have Susan Powder repping your product, and she was going, I'm broke and I can't even use my own name. Reading the article.
That was literally the universe intervening on you.
I looked at that. I read the article and she was like, oh yeah, last year I sold $10 million in products and I made $200,000. And that went, half of that goes to this by the time you pay your mortgage. I'm like looking at this stuff going, oh my God, this is what my attorney was trying to, and she goes, and I can't even use my name. I'm the most famous woman in infomercials right now. I can't use my name to go sell anything else. She's explaining all of this in a way that I can understand it.
Wow.
And I called my attorney and I said, have you seen this article? And he goes, I'll look it up. And he did. And he calls back. He goes, yeah, that would be you. That would be you. They would make tens of millions of dollars. And not only will you not make that much, because they give you 3 points. You get 3 cents on a dollar. They were going to give me 5 points, the same that they gave people like, what's her name? Jane Fonda.
Maury Windsor.
Because, no, Maury Windsor, Jane Fonda, people with
Yeah.
big names, right? They were going to give me that kind of, 5 cents on the dollar. 5 points is what they call it. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to make anything and they're going to own my name. See, they don't get to own Jane Fonda's name. That's left out of the contract. She's big enough,
Right.
right? She's just collecting mailbox money. I would not be able to ever, doing this podcast this many years down the road, wouldn't be able to use my name. The best example I can give is when Prince became known for the audience.
Yeah. Yes. When he did the
former-
symbol.
Yeah, formerly known as Prince. He wanted to get out of a contract
Right.
with a record company. He didn't own his name, and he had to shame him into giving him his name back.
And by the way, he's such a prolific songwriter. He turned in, I think it was Warner Brothers was the record label. He turned in 400 songs.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's a catalog of 400 songs. I'm changing my name. I'm done with my contract with you.
Yeah.
And that's what, and then he was, of course, ridiculed for that publicly, but it was because he was getting out of a shitty contract.
He kept his mouth shut. He didn't say anything
Yeah.
about it, but that's why he was doing it. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. You know,
Wow, that's fascinating. I didn't know that they could own your name in perpetuity, but I guess you could sign anything away. I would be curious to talk to somebody like a lawyer who's seen the progression of that. Are they still able to do that? Because it seems like with this day and age of influencers,
I don't think so. Influencers.
like it seems illegal to do
savvy.
that.
It's too savvy. I mean, it wasn't into perpetuity, but it was long enough to where I wouldn't have been able to work again.
Right.
I could work again. I just couldn't use my name on a product or anything else. So, and I had a bunch of products. So you want to talk about sitting there going, man,
That's a bummer. You had to process that information.
It wasn't like
go,
that time I didn't fail. They actually gave me a deal. I had to fail. I had to go.
You had to walk away.
Yeah. I had to walk away.
I have had to do that too. And it does suck. And then I always go, you know what? It's got to be something more, better, different that's waiting. This has got to be part of the thing. Sometimes, by the way, I found that some really great thing comes really close because you're precisely trying to just open your thinking up more than you have before. So you think that's going to be the thing because you want to hitch onto it because it's the thing, but it's actually not designed to be the actual thing. It's designed to open your brain up to more possibilities. Well, if I could do that, what else can I do?
Exactly. Look, when you could get that many times at bat and people knew your products were good. And then once the internet came around and the gatekeepers were gone, you said, you know what? I was able to get these to the show. Maybe I can just do it on my own. And I found myself one Miss Anna Vocino.
What?
And the rest is what they called history. Folks,
history, yes.
Anna Vocino, she's got the gravies. She's got the powders. I need more barbecue powder. I broke out the whole sweat. I broke out.
Okay.
I was making hamburgers the other night and I went for the barbecue out. I have 2 halves of tacos left.
Well, that's a disaster.
It's a disaster. I'm getting my powder today. I'm going to order some. Folks, you can get this powder too from eathappykitchen.com. Go get it.
Can I say this? I can say this with authority. We are now back in stock on marinara, puttanesca, pink crema, and the spicy. All 4 sauces are back in stock.
Do not fall asleep on the arrabbiata. That's all I'm going to say. So go check all that out.
Thank you, Vinnie.
Go look at my friend Teresa Strasser's book over on Amazon. It's part of the Vinnie Book Club. So go check that out. Give Teresa's book. I love the book. It's a great book. So go check it out. When you click through at VinnieTortorich.com, click through that link, bookmark it, use it every time. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us keep this podcast free. Debbie wants me to tell you guys that we have the NSNG newsletter. You can check that out at VinnieTortorich.com. Also, okay, on behalf of Miss Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with one Miss Tina Turner. We didn't talk about her. She passed away.
May she rest in power.
Yeah, she is gone.
By the way, watch that Tina Turner documentary, you guys, if you haven't seen it. I don't know what it's on. Just Google Tina Turner documentary.
Yeah. And we were talking about rowing a boat, but we're going to roll a boat down the river.